March is Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Month. The debilitating chronic disease of the central nervous system, it's no longer considered to mainly impact white women. In fact, more and more black women are now being diagnosed with it, specifically black women. Dr. Mitzi Joy Williams, she's a world-renowned multiple sclerosis expert and neurologist. She explains the signs and how to take charge of your care after the diagnosis.
I was in my 20s. I lost feeling in my hands. I was unable to walk. My hands were constantly just numb and tingling.
Azure Antoinette is among millions of people living with multiple sclerosis, an autoimmune disease that many say often gets overlooked.
Multiple sclerosis is a life-changing diagnosis. And essentially, what MS is a disease where the immune system attacks the central nervous system, including the brain, the spinal cord, and the nerves to the eye. And it results in a variety of symptoms.
Sometimes an MS diagnosis is delayed for Black people. For years, doctors believed the disease primarily impacted white women, but the face of MS is changing.
More recent studies have suggested that the incidence or occurrence of MS is actually highest in Black people in the U.S., and that the risk may be up to 47% higher in Black women, right? So I think the first thing to do, myself and many of my colleagues are trying to educate our colleagues to make sure people are aware that anybody can get MS.
Dr. Williams, what can I do on top of taking the medicine to improve my conditions with MS?
Living a full life with MS is possible, but Dr. Williams says it takes a village.
Certainly, the person living with the disease is at the center of that team. You are the most important part of that team because you are the expert on your own body, right? And then you have your neurologist. That is the person that usually helps with, confirming diagnosis, helping with treatments. Again, an MS specialist would be optimal if you can see one of those. And then other team members really depend on the symptoms. But the most important components of those team are the person living with the condition. Mental health, I recommend for all of my patients, particularly when diagnosed, because it is a life-changing diagnosis and often brings a lot of stress and kind of fear of the unknown along with it.
While there's still no cure for multiple sclerosis, there have been major advances in fighting the disease, from new medications that help slow its progression to major efforts to include Black and brown people in clinical trials.
The things I'm most excited about are the CHIMES trial, which is the first phase 4 clinical trial focused on Black and Hispanic people in the U.S. living with multiple sclerosis. So this was really a huge feat to get this accomplished because most of our clinical trials have less than 2% enrollment of Black people, right? I'm also very excited about the National African American MS Registry, a group of myself and several of my colleagues, also majority Black MS specialists. There are probably less than 20 of us in the country. And we kind of banded together to try to create some type of registry with questionnaires to better understand, are people being seen in a timely fashion? Are they getting treated with the best therapies? Are they able to see an MS specialist? Are they having issues with interacting with the healthcare system? And so I'm excited about those two projects, primarily because I think that they'll give us some of the answers that we've been looking for.
A huge thank you to Dr. Mitzi Joy Williams. And make sure you check out her book, You Can Live Well with Multiple Sclerosis, a guidebook that provides guidance to empower people living with MS.